What's up, guys? So, figured I'd take a few minutes to just go over the new changes for Disk so far on the PTR, um, which feel a little lackluster at the moment. But I'll go over them anyway, just so you guys know what's going on. So first tier is the same, haven't changed anything. Second tier, they changed masochism, and now when you get the heal over time, you also get a damage reduction of 10%, which doesn't hurt. It's nice to have, but I don't feel like this fixes the issue with the talent. But I'll actually go into more depth in that. If you check the description of this video, I will paste a text guide, and in that it contains everything that I think is wrong with Disk and how it could be improved at the bottom of it. So you can just go to that Google Doc, and if you want to know anything about priests, I've pretty much put everything I know in that guide. Macros, talents, you name it, it's there. So if you find that helpful, that kind of thing helpful, check it out. But yeah, so that's masochism. Got a bit sidetracked there. Second tier, nothing changed. Actually, no, I lie. Shining Force is now 45 sec CD instead of a minute. And that does exactly nothing, because everyone's just going to take this every game anyway, since it's too good. Third tier, nothing changed. Sorry, fourth tier rather. Fifth tier, nothing changed. Sixth tier, nothing changed. Obviously, last patch we had the Clarity of Will buff. Nothing's changed since then. And last tier, they have now made Shadow Covenant instant cast. And they've reduced the healing slightly and reduced the absorb that it puts on you for the next healing slightly. And this does nothing. Grace is still far and above this talent. I think this is a terribly designed talent at the moment, and I think it needs a big rework. Again, I go into that in the text guide if you want to know more about that. But yeah, basically it's like an AoE saving grace that doesn't really heal for anything. Everyone's going to have 2 mil plus HP, and you're doing a 167k heal on 3 people that doesn't apply atonement and applies a healing absorb for 6 seconds, which you're going to have to heal into for the price of what it would cost to shadow mend those 3 people. Good stuff. Honor talents. Nothing's changed here. Relentless nerfed last patch or in a hotfix to 20%. That's already happened. The rest is the same. Second tier, everything's the same. Third tier, everything's the same. Fourth tier, Searing Light recently got nerfed in a hotfix. It says it in the patch notes, but that was already done. So that's the same. Premonition is still the same, but we've got a new talent here now. Instead of the silence reduction talent, we now have Trinity, which is an interesting looking talent that I think is wrongly placed, maybe, but all the same, it's nice to see that they're coming up with new stuff. Whether that's the wrong stuff is kind of besides the point. At least they're trying, you know. So what it does is it increases the duration of your atonement to 30 sec whenever you apply it, and it increases the healing that does by 20%, but you can only put it on 3 people, and you can only apply it with plea. I think this is going to be more useful in 2s than it is in 3s, because that 20% increase in atonement still isn't going to be enough to keep people alive. And you need to bear in mind, is that 20% healing going to be as much as a shadow mend that you would have done to apply that atonement otherwise? That's about 200k healing. Are you going to get 200k extra healing through atonement from 20% extra? It just seems the fact that you need to apply it through plea is such a crux that I think it kind of kills off the talent a little bit in 3s. In 2s, it will probably still be worth it. But you need to bear in mind you're losing Searing Light for this. Do you need that extra healing from atonement? Maybe against some stuff. It'll be good against some stuff, but the Searing Light talent is so good as well. You're going to be doing so much more damage with that. And maybe even the extra damage that you do with that will do more healing than the 20% extra that you get from this talent. I think it might even be, to be honest with you. In addition to that, you're just shielding people on cooldown anyway, applying atonements, so the increased duration doesn't make any kind of difference. So yeah, I think this talent is a cool idea, but it needs a bit more tweaking to be worth it in any kind of situation in Arena, I think. 5th tier, we have no buffs on these two, but Dome of Light has been buffed from 25% to 45%. And I don't really know why, because it was a pretty solid choice anyway. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I think that they're addressing the wrong issues with Disc. Or rather, non-issues with Disc. I don't like so much of our power being revolved around power and barrier, because in PvP it's such a static ability. PvP is really like mobile, and people are kiting around and all sorts. And you don't want to just sit in a barrier when people are going ham on you. It's like you want to kite, you want to avoid as much damage as you can, and just sitting in a barrier kind of is counterintuitive to that. So I think it's, instead of buffing the amount of damage reduction on barrier, this talent should buff pain suppression. They need to switch this out for pain suppression, reduce the pain suppression cooldown with it, and increase the damage reduction of pain suppression, or something like make pain suppression increase the healing taken, something like that. Because I feel like too much stuff revolves around barrier right now, and it's not a nice talent to use in PvP. Last tier, they buffed Power and Fortitude by 5%. But it's still dispellable, so I don't see this being holding a candle to Archangel. Archangel is insanely good. It's so, like your gameplay revolves so much around it, and you need it so much to top people back up right now that you just can't not take it. And the amount of extra healing that you're going to get from this is going to far and above outweigh the 20% increased max HP of a dispellable buff. Like, it's such a niche thing. Against some cleaves, maybe it will be good to make sure you don't get one shot, but how are you going to top yourself back up to that HP again if you don't have Archangel? You're going to struggle. Dark Archangel, cool talent. Don't know if it's enough increased damage to make it worth taking over Archangel, but I like the design of it. It's just hard not to take Archangel right now. It's sort of like if you don't get insane pressure with this and one-shot something and just put them right on the back foot so that they can't crush your team, I don't think it's worth taking this. This is like a really one-shot-y sort of gimmicky thing, I think. I don't know at the moment. So yeah, I think that's most of what I had to say, just to keep it as concise as possible. I go into a lot more detail in the text guide, as I was saying, so if you want to read up on that kind of stuff and what kind of I think about stuff, that's the place to go. And then by all means, if you do have any kind of ideas for new talents, spells, whatnot, chuck them in the comments. I'll give them a read. If I think they're cool, I'll add them to the text guide, because everyone has different ideas, don't they? So it's a good way to get bit of discussion going on our class mechanics and that sort of thing, since right now we are in the shit. Alright, cheers for watching.